Thanks very much, Wendy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I see someone said hi from Romania, so I want to be sensitive to time zones. I've been a basketball fan for many years, ever since I was a kid. And my son plays the game. He's a freshman in high school, and I've even coached his team for the last 3 years. And I noticed a lot of similarities between the game of basketball and the profession that we're in. And I thought I would just highlight some of those, some of those relationships in terms of the conversation today, and then align my 25 years of project management experience to the concept as well. So, it's meant to be somewhat entertaining and hopefully a little bit educational as well. In terms of context, I really think about both the basketball metaphor in 4 categories. And so what I'll do is I'll go into each one of them and talk about them in the context of both the game as well as projects. So there's the game itself, right, which is the projects that we're on. Clearly, it's there's a team, the players, and then the coach, which is what I believe we are. So if I jump into the game here, there we go. As everyone knows, who knows the game of basketball, it is a team sport that's played by 5 members on the court, a few players on the bench, and the teams have a shared goal and need to trust and support each other, and very much like a project, right? In terms of having a team that has to work together towards a common goal, right? It sounds a little bit like the PMI definition of a project. There's fundamentals when it comes to the game, right? There's dribbling, passing, layups, rebounding, all that kind of fun stuff. And it's important to do all of those things consistently. It's also important to understand the rules of the game so that you don't get into trouble or foul out or so on. And I think relative to the work that we do, it's also important that we understand the constraints. In this case, it might be organizational constraints or policies or systems, and really important to focus on doing the basics really well. And for us, that means a few things. It means doing the basics of planning well, right? Working through plans and understanding the activities and the relationship between those activities, what our stakeholders want. There's managing the project and understanding the sources of information around financials and resources and risks and so on, and making sure that we're tracking properly, as well as just the normal operations of making sure that actions and risks and issues get closed on a regular basis. So, we're going through some of the easier metaphors. There's also really important functions to consider during the game. And, as I think about the game of basketball, as well as our projects, most games, while there might be some buzzer beaters and three-pointers at the end, the games aren't won on the last shot, right? The games are won by consistently making baskets over, I think it's 48 minutes, right, over the entire course of the game. And similar to projects, right, we don't meet our milestones by just putting in the last deliverable at the end. It's really a sequence of meeting all of the activities and all of the deliverables over the course of the duration of the project. So, it's really an important concept that we really got to focus on each deliverable, each milestone, each risk, each issue, and sort of knock those things out if we want to be successful at the end of the game. There's also assisting each other and making sure that, we collaborate and we assist the members of the team. In this case, rebounding, is when you miss a basketball shot, but in the context of a project, there's going to be risks, there's going to be issues, there's going to be challenges, and the question is how quickly do we respond to those and make sure that those don't impede our progress. In this case, defense is making sure that there's not a lot of changes and volatility that come into our world so that we can be focused on what we need to be focused on, making sure that we're monitoring progress, right? We know the score of the game, we know how many minutes we have left, we know, the resources that we have, and then adjusting to the game as well. And then lastly, right, we don't want to get into foul trouble, so we don't want to have major risks and issues that'll take us out of the game. So that's the game piece of it. I think pretty basic, right? Everybody knows what a project is and the key components of it. But in this case, we'll drill a little bit more into the team aspect of it, which I think is one of the most important pieces. Before we do that, it's probably important to recognize there's different roles in the game. So clearly there's the players, right? People playing the game, and in context of basketball, right, there's only 5 people on the court at any given point. They're the ones scoring, they're the ones playing, right? And on our team members, there's a lot of team members that do the same thing, right? Those are the ones who actually are the ones doing the work and meeting the deliverables. I'm going to skip over for a second. Then there's the coach, the person who's on the sidelines, who provides leadership, right? They yell out plays, they guide, but they're not playing, right? And a lot of us know, a lot of the managers, and I would argue that's probably a historical view of project management, that, we stand on the sidelines and we sort of yell at the players and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, and so on. There's, I would argue, an evolution of our roles into what I'll call a player coach, right? And then those are people who, yes, they coach, but they also contribute to the game. In some cases, they're the ones on the court playing the game and coaching from a position of doing the work with the team members. And I think that's, in my opinion, what we should aspire to be in our roles. And as we start talking about Agile and the evolution of Agile, I think that's more consistent with roles like Scrum Masters and release train engineers. And then there's the spectators, right? The people in the stands who have opinions, right? They always yell at the refs, or they yell at the players, or they react to different plays, but they don't actually help contribute to the game. And I think we can all imagine there's lots of spectators on some of our projects, teams, and meetings who have opinions. They show up to meetings, they yell a lot, but they don't actually help contribute to the progress of the game. So, I think it's important, a couple key points. The players are the most important people in the game. It's important that we move towards that player-coach model in terms of project management. I think we need to be conscious of the number of spectators, because unlike a basketball game, we don't want as many people in the stands as possible yelling and with opinions, especially if they're not cheering on the team, right? So I think that's an important role to understand, is who's actually helping the team and who's not. I also think it's important, and I know a lot of us don't have a ton of say over the teams that we build, but I think it's important to have a balanced team. And by that, I mean team members should have skills that complement each other. And, I'll give you an example. When I was coaching my son's team a couple of years ago, I had a kid who just wanted to take three-pointers. He didn't want to do anything but shoot. And he was actually pretty good at them, so I for the most part, couldn't tell him not to do that. But he did miss at times. And so what I did with his lineup was I put the tallest kid on the team with him, thinking, look, he's going to miss some shots, and when he does, I want our tall kid to get the rebound. And then on my other lineup, I had my son, who could play a bunch of different positions and was better at distributing the ball to some of the more athletic kids. So I had his team with some of the athletic kids because I knew he could get them the ball. And so I sort of balanced that out. And similarly, when we're on project teams, I think it's important to balance out the type of team members that we have. So we probably want some technical resources if we're in IT who understand the technology. We probably want some people who understand the business. We probably want some, maybe some visionary types. We also want people who do the work. And so based on the makeup of the project, I think it's important that we balance out the team members' skill sets so that we don't have all of one type of player. You can see Manute Bol and Muggsy Bogues, who played in the 80s in basketball there on the picture. Also really important, and this is also a key tenet as we move more towards Agile type of delivery, trusting and supporting each other's team, right? Collaborating with each other, right? Trusting that your team members are going to be where they need to be on the court. Same thing on the project team, that when you need them, they're going to be available. It's important that if somebody, slips a little bit, that we pick up the slack and we jump in to help them. And I used to tell my son this all the time because, he was a point guard, is you don't have to score all the points. An assist is just as good because you still get the points for the teams. And in some games, he would get more assists than points, but, if it helped the team win, then that was more important than scoring the most points on the court. And so similarly, on our teams, it's not the person who has the big glorious role so much as making sure that we assist each other and we help each other out. Communication is also really important to our team members, whether or not that's recognizing what's going on with the project and telling other people. And it also means asking for help, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help if there's a challenge or a risk. I'm a big fan of full transparency as we have projects to make sure. And it's not about...
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.